Let's start with some breath. You ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, and -3. Someone told me that it's more important to exhale than inhale. It's easier to exhale than inhale, but really it's more important to do the latter than the former because you have to train your body to purge intentionally. This is my second time recording today. Welcome to the Cupid and the Pitbull podcast. Oh, this is going to be exactly what I told you. It's going to be an addiction, a drug, a hard drug. Have y'all ever done drugs? A little meth, maybe some cocaine, some heroin just shooting up. How about taking shots on the weekends? How about just having sex for validation? You ever done that? Look, the thing about it is, listen, it's the Cupid and the Pitbull podcast. We're going to get into it on some adult shit. So today, the reason I'm recording for the second time is because I just had a very full day with my little princess and my auntie Mona. And I even went over to talk to the king. Oh, the king. I can't wait to tell you the stories about the king. Now, I have stories about Prince and Sierra and Beanie Siegel and who else? Candy Burris and Randy Moss and all the other famous people. But wait until I tell you the stories about the king. We're not going to do that yet, though, because here on the Cupid and the Pitbull podcast, we take our time. This evening, I want to talk about addiction. Say it with me. Addiction. Who struggles with that, right? Like, who out there really wants to know how we fix that? Anybody? Raise your hand. I can feel you. When I was in college, storytelling, it's so fun. When I was in college, I was stressed. And for the first time in my life, I recognized what stress actually was. Up until college, I thought I was stressed. Here and there. I mean, issues with name it, sexuality or success or racial identity, I mean, I'm very light-skinned. But I never knew stress until I got to college. Now, I went to the #1 college in the world, the best college, the most prestigious public institution in the South, in the U.S., in the world, the University of Chapel Hill. And what's so funny as I listen back to these podcast episodes, it's like, Taylor, you're a narcissist. Oh, you must just be a narcissist because you think everything you say is so tight and on point. You think it all makes sense. You love your voice. You love how you're walking around in the world. You just think that you are God's gift. And that's how I really walked around leading up to college. I mean, I went to high school in Minnesota, 2 different high schools. We'll get into those stories soon. You want to talk about sexuality. Ooh. Oh. But anyways, got down here, went to high school down here too. So what is that? 3 different high schools? So came down here, became the student body president, and got into Chapel Hill. Wow. And when I got there, I remember my dad bringing me, and he took a walk that night. I was passed out. I was ready to start my freshman year. And he came back and he told me, and he looked in my eyes and he said, "Buddy, can you handle this? Are you ready for this?" Coming from the man who has funded the entire experience. So my natural answer was, of course, I got this. And then the first day of school started. And then the stress came. And then the Everclear. And the vodka. And the frat parties. And the whiskey. Oh, it was so fun. Oh, talk about blackouts, girl. Oh, we can just get into it. But the thing about it was, I didn't realize back then what I realize now. I couldn't handle the stress. So instead of facing up against it, I numbed it. And it felt good. Now raise your hand again if you know what that feels like. I'm not just talking about educational stress. Social stress. Emotional stress. Living stress. Dorm room stress. Romantic stress. But what I want to celebrate before we get too deep into the depths of the deep is that I went through that experience early. Oh, girl, give me 1 second. I started to study addiction at an early age. I realized what was happening to me, and I knew that it needed to be studied, like the other studying that I was doing in college. You know, just about Marxism and public speaking and maybe a little basic economics and theater. All the important subjects. But I started studying. And 15 years later, y'all, I think I have a grasp on it. And not just a grasp, but a profound understanding of this concept called addiction. It's very physical. It's not mental. It's not emotional. It's something in the body that needs to be dealt with. So I wanted to share a recipe that I have stumbled across just because apparently I'm a witch. Apparently I do spells and get into alchemy and all of these things. But take a LaCroix, right? Get your favorite flavor too. Mine is grapefruit. Get some kava. Get some L-theanine. Some honey and peppermint. Drink 2 of those in the morning, and let's see how you feel. Hit me up if it works. just a quick story, but not just a story. Here at the Cupid and the Pitbull podcast, we're getting into healing. Say it with me. Healing. You want to heal? I'll see you next episode. Let's get into it. Here we
Behind that beautiful smile, you've been addicted. Oh, it's got you good, and it's looking like fun, fun, fun. Yet you run back to me. You're so fun, and I've been so conflicted. I never thought I could do this, but I'm about to be done.
Bye.
See just what you've been up to. I feel